Hi there. Today I'm gonna show off the new MakuluLinux 2.5. This will be our third release, version 2.5. The new additions in MakuluLinux 2.5 include two extra desktop environments, which is Enlightenment and XFCE. These two were added at request of users. So we have our default Cinnamon, Gnome, KDE and Mate, which are the four default desktops we've had in the past. At one stage in version 1.0 we had Unity, which fell away. It's not a very favorite of ours. We've never been big fans of Unity, so we replaced it with Gnome instead. Gnome seemed to work better with Cinnamon, as they share same framework. So yeah, so today I'm going to show off the new Enlightenment, which is now part of MakuluLinux 2.5. As you can see, we have gone for the more traditional look in Enlightenment. We have changed the panel at the bottom to resemble the more traditional panel with the traditional start menu, with the traditional what do you call that, little taskbar kind of shortcuts. You have two file managers that you can make use of. The traditional file manager that comes, the default one that comes with the Enlightenment, or you can use Kaja, which is the same file manager that Mate uses. Can be used in Enlightenment as well. Fully functional. So it uses two file browsers, up to the user which to use. The theming, we've tried to keep the look, as you can see, the icons and so forth. We've tried to keep the look still as standard as possible to the other themes, to the other desktops, which is the ambience look and feel to it all. Enlightenment is not easy to skin. It's probably one of the most difficult desktop environments to skin. I must say it was not easy, but I think we pulled it off quite nicely. It's got a very nice, you know, it's all about Enlightenment's always been all about effects. So you know, you still have all your effects there, and there's tons more you can customize and add, pop-ups and stuff. So it's still got that nice sleek look, that whole you know, everything popping out of the screen and so forth. And at the same time we've managed to keep the ambience look and feel to it. So that's Enlightenment, which has been added. The Enlightenment users will obviously be delighted, and I'm sure they will go crazy with all the options of customizing it. But Enlightenment is fully functional. We have no problems with it. It seems to be compatible after all. So that was the one thing that I was scared about. So yeah, so Enlightenment fully functional in MakuluLinux 2.5. XFCE is the other desktop environment we have added. Let me just remove this wallpaper changer here. XFCE, once again, we went for the more traditional look because we like to standardize the desktop environments. Just keep that notification. So yeah, we went for the more standardized look, traditional look. Your panel bar is at the bottom, same as all the other desktops, except for Gnome, of course. Gnome, we could put it at the bottom, but I don't know, with Gnome it just never felt right there. So yeah, you've got your start menu, of course, with all your settings and so forth. All the programs and apps related to this desktop environment is in the start browser. Of course, the file manager here is Thunar, so you have the Thunar file browser. We've also added a few extensions into Thunar, which give you custom extensions, which give you root rights and file extractions, image viewers, ISO mounting, blah blah blah. The list goes on. So once again, this is now XFCE running with a traditional look. You've got your shortcuts in the little taskbar panel at the bottom. You've got your Windows list in the same panel, as well as your start menu. So, and as you can see, well, everybody knows XFCE is very fast, and we've given it this nice look. We've kept the ambience theme once again, so it also shares the same ambience theme. So yeah, that is XFCE. The default environments, which for those that haven't seen them in the past videos, I'm going to log into Cinnamon. This is Cinnamon, MakuluLinux 2.5. I'm going to skip over the programs just now. I'm just not going to do it right now. I just want to get into the desktop environments here. Let's get another wallpaper going here. Yeah, that one's fine. Anyway, so yeah, Cinnamon, this is obviously Cinnamon 1.7 point, I think 4 at the moment, which uses the Gnome file browser, and as you can see, it also uses the ambience theme, and it's a very nice look. We love it. I think this theme is probably one of the best in the world. I mean, sure, you get funkier themes, you get maybe better looking themes, you get dark themes, you get all kinds of themes, but this one's just put together so nicely. You know, the charcoal sits on just the right places, the little orange buttons, and the folders that have that sort of almost shadowy kind of look to them. You know, it's sort of reflection coming off them. I don't know, I just love the theme. The icons are just perfect. Everything's just, it's probably the one thing Ubuntu ever did right when they made their distro, was the ambience theme. And I'm not even sure whether they actually made it. Did they invent it? You know, I really don't know. But I love the theme, so yeah, we use it for all our desktop environments. Anyway, this is Cinnamon. Runs very smooth, very nice, no problems. Doesn't clash with the other desktop environments. Actually, none of them clash with each other. So yeah, running without any problems. Let's move on to Gnome. Gnome, I think this is Gnome 3.8 in MakuluLinux. So we have Gnome 3.8 running in MakuluLinux. Let's go change the wallpaper. Yeah, I've got a nice little wallpaper changer here. You can, with lots of options, you can actually let's go to preferences. You can actually set the wallpaper to change when your computer starts, change every X minutes, hours, days, seconds. You can change the wallpaper on start. You can pull it from your favorites folder, fetched folder, your backgrounds folder, random. You can pull it wallpapers from online. You can obviously there's a manually downloaded. You can even add effects to your wallpapers. Lots of different effects. You can colorize and size, customize, tips and tricks. So this is probably one of the best wallpaper changes I've ever seen in my life. Even better than most of the Windows ones I've seen. So we've included that, which is a nice little addition, just to ensure that there will never be an endless supply of wallpapers to the user, whoever uses the distro. So yeah, with Gnome, we've included a little weather app. Of course, it's set to my current city, but you can easily just change it in the weather settings. We've also added the network history, up and down speed, and the rest is pretty much standard. You've got your sound, your network, your calendar, you've got your settings menu, which is your login, power off, system settings, advanced settings, and panel settings. We've added a few shortcuts at the top, a little taskbar extension which lists the favorites on top, so you can sort of open up a file browser, which is of course Nemo as well. Open up your web browser, terminal, your software center, and show desktop. The start menu, we've gone with a more traditional look as well. We love tradition. This little start menu replaces the applications menu. The hot corner is also disabled, so if you push your mouse into the top left corner, the the traditional application menu won't be popping up. It's disabled. So yeah, so you can view items via categories, or you can view items via alphabetical. So yeah, you can see your item alphabetical or the traditional traditional category style, which is awesome. You can also configure this menu. There's quite a few configurations, and if you want to, you can click the activities button, which will then bring up the default GNOME applications menu, where you can then click show applications and access your GNOME applications from the traditional menu. If you want to, you can disable this little start menu, this launcher menu. You can disable it in the extensions, and that will then replace it with the default GNOME applications launcher. There's a couple of additions here. I think advanced system settings will bring up the GNOME tweak tool, which will allow you to enable or disable a lot of the extensions, well, all of them. And as you can see, we've put in quite a few there, and not all of them are enabled, so that allows the user to play around there. You can always get more online as well. Your panel bar can be set to show top, or you can have it at the bottom if you prefer a more traditional panel bar layout. We have set it to the top because I don't know, it just felt better in GNOME that way. You can also set it to auto hide. However, auto hide has its issues. It seems that the developer of this panel settings extension did not include the ability to auto hide if the panel bar is on the bottom, so beware of that. You can set it to overview mode as well. Auto hide works perfectly fine if the panel is at the top. As you can see there, it's working without problems. So let's go to normal. Okay, so that is GNOME working without hassles in MakuluLinux. So let's move on to KDE. This is KDE 4.10. I think it's 12 or 13. KDE. I'm not such a big fan of KDE, but I have learned have come to learn to respect it for its powerful services, its powerful ability to be manipulated. I would be lying if I said I loved it on all levels, because there are things in it that annoy me. Firstly, the slow boot up. It takes terribly long for KDE to start up, actually, and it's gotten to a point where I hear they're now working on a slim trim version of KDE because of the long annoying boot up. But there's nothing I can do about that. That is the KDE developers themselves that it seems to get a little slower with each version. I mean, once you boot it in, it's quite fine and nice and fast and so forth, but the actual boot up time is just ridiculous. They need to do something about that. KDE lovers will obviously be used to it, so it won't bother them much. I'm not much of a KDE lover, so I tend to notice little things like that. The default file browser in KDE is obviously Dolphin. We have added a lot of extensions to Dolphin. As you can see, there's no lack in options in the right-click context menu. A lot of the default KDE apps are included. We left the default start manager, start launcher, whatever, in KDE. You can add extra widgets. Among them is the where is it now? QML launcher. So let's just add that onto the panel as well somewhere, so I can show you what that looks like. That would be the more let's just stretch it out there. That would be the more well, the more default start menu to most desktop environments. So if you want, you can obviously replace the other one with more traditional one. So there's really no lack of widgets that are available to the user. Of course, you can get more widgets online, and as I'm sure you've noticed, we've once again kept the standard ambience theme. Yeah, so that is KDE. It has plenty of effects that the user can enable. Desktop effects, I mean, the list is huge. I don't even think Compass has this many effects. So yeah, I'm not going to enable them. I'm in VirtualBox and I don't want to lag the crap out of it. But yeah, the default softwares. Well, let me just finish this little showing off the desktop environment before I get into that. The next desktop environment, which is the final one I want to show you, is Mate. We have covered XFCE, we've covered Enlightenment, Gnome and Cinnamon, as well as KDE. The next desktop environment and the final one is Mate, which is Mate 1.6. As you can see, we once again went for the default traditional look with a panel at the bottom, the main panel at the bottom, which has the little start launcher menu, as well as the little taskbar with the same default shortcuts you will find in every single desktop environment. The file browser here, of course, is Kaja, which you saw earlier as well. It has the ambience theme as well. As you can see, the theme is very standardized across all desktop environments. And yeah, the Mate start menu, which has all the programs on it, which I will probably be going through now. Just a quick overview. But yeah, the Mate 1.6 running without problems. You may have also noticed that Conky starts up with every single desktop environment except for Enlightenment. We have put Conky as a standard startup application on. Don't think wallpaper changer works with Mate. Maybe I should disable that. Yeah, okay, that's minor. I'll disable it for Mate. I did hear that wallpaper changer was having issues with Mate, so I will just remove it in Mate. I think it's variety. Yeah, we'll just go check the options here. Preferences. Start with computer start. I'm just going to check that up. Somebody did tell me that it doesn't work with Mate. Oh well, no big deal. Okay, so yeah, you'll notice that Conky starts up with every single desktop environment except for Enlightenment. The start menu, I just want to go quickly through all the programs. Every single desktop environment has a bunch of programs that it requires to run smoothly, and these programs you will usually find in accessories, system tools, systems, preferences, administration, and so forth. And of course your control center for each desktop will be there. The default programs installed is a couple of games: Billiards, Cefrino, Steam. We have removed the Hedge Wars to keep the ISO size down, especially with the two new editions of Enlightenment and XFCE. Your graphics programs are the same default ones we had in 2.0. The internet once again has the same programs. If you want to a review on the programs, go watch one of our previous videos. You will find them on our website. Opera is still the default browser, Pigeon still the default messenger, Transmission still the default torrent manager, and XChat is the default IRC client. LibreOffice is still the default office manager. Wine is still installed. We've still got Browsero, K3B, we've still got Radio Tray, VLC is the media player of choice. Defcon Tools is still installed. GDebi is still the default package manager. We also have Synaptics package manager, which is the default Synaptic package manager. Software Center, of course, is still the Deepin Software Center. We love it. We love it above all other software centers, and it works really well in MakuluLinux. So yeah, that's still the default software manager, the software center of choice. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. So this is MakuluLinux 2.5, still in early stages. I've got a couple of things to sort out, as you saw with variety wallpaper. That will be next on my list. But yeah, things are looking bright. This release will probably go live in the next few weeks, maybe even sooner, depending on the progress I make over the next few days, maybe weeks. But yeah, users can now look forward to the 2 extra desktop environments, which is of course Enlightenment and XFCE. And MakuluLinux just seems to be growing. We started off with 2 desktop environments, up to 4 at the time of release, and now we are up to 6 desktop environments. And not just that, they run smoothly with each other without any conflicts, without any problems, without hassles, no systems instability. A lot of hard work's gone into this to make them run with each other without problems. I cannot even stress how many hours I've spent on this. Far too many, I'm sure, but I love it, and I'm sure the users will enjoy the distribution. The distribution can be used as a demo to show off different desktop environments, or be run on a daily basis. I mean, it's very stable. There's really no issues with it. I really need to sort out that variety program. There are no issues with it. It runs very well. You know, I've used this on day-to-day basis, and I can tell you, it's probably one of the better experiences I've ever had in my life. Probably because I designed it, and you know, it's the way I want it. But yeah, what more can I say about it? It's an awesome distribution, very smooth, very slick, works well, and yeah. So keep an eye on this. We'll probably be releasing a few more videos before it goes live, as we add new additions or remove something that we need to remove, anything that we need to remove. But for now, this is MakuluLinux, showing off the new 6 desktop environments, well, 2 of which are new, but the new distribution that has 6 desktop environments now instead of the default 4. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy with this. So until the next review, this is Jacques signing out.